Long ago in the land of Egypt, the people of Israel lived as slaves under a cruel and mighty Pharaoh. They toiled under the whip, and their bitter cries for help rose up to heaven. Fearing their growing numbers, Pharaoh ordered that every Hebrew baby boy be cast into the Nile. But one brave mother hid her newborn son, refusing to give him up to such a fate. When she could hide him no longer, she placed him in a basket and set him afloat on the river. Pharaoh's own daughter found the basket among the reeds and named the child Moses. So Moses was raised as a prince in Pharaoh's palace, surrounded by riches and royal robes. But when he was grown, Moses saw an Egyptian beating a Hebrew slave, and in anger he struck the man down. Afraid for his life, Moses fled far away into the desert of Midian. There he became a humble shepherd, and many quiet years passed by. One day, while tending his flock, Moses saw a bush that burned with fire yet was not consumed. From the flames, the voice of God called out, "Moses, take off your sandals, for this ground is holy. I have seen the suffering of my people," God said, "and I am sending you to set them free." Moses was afraid and asked, "Who am I to stand before Pharaoh?" And God answered, "I will be with you." God gave him a sign. His shepherd's staff became a serpent, and then a staff once more. So Moses returned to Egypt, and his brother Aaron came to speak at his side. They gathered the elders of Israel and told them that God had finally heard their cries. Then Moses and Aaron stood before Pharaoh and boldly declared, "Let my people go." But Pharaoh's heart was hard. He refused, and made the slaves labor even harder than before. So God sent plagues upon Egypt. First, the waters of the Nile turned to blood. Then frogs swarmed across the land, filling every home and every field. After them came swarms of gnats and flies, covering the people and the beasts alike. Disease struck the livestock, painful boils afflicted the people, and hail battered the fields. A great cloud of locusts descended and devoured every green and growing thing. And then a thick and total darkness covered all of Egypt for 3 long days. At last God warned of one final plague. The firstborn of all Egypt would be taken. God told Israel to mark their doorways with the blood of a lamb for protection. That night the spirit of death passed over every home that was marked with the blood. A great cry rose throughout Egypt, and even Pharaoh's own beloved son was lost. Broken at last, Pharaoh summoned Moses and cried, "Take your people and go from my land." So the Israelites gathered their belongings and left Egypt in haste, a great multitude. God himself led the way before them, a pillar of cloud by day and of fire by night. But Pharaoh's heart hardened once more, and he regretted letting his slaves go free. He gathered his army and his chariots and thundered after them across the sands. The Israelites reached the shore of the Red Sea, trapped, with the army closing in behind. The people were terrified and cried out, "Have you brought us all the way here to die?" But Moses said, "Do not be afraid. Stand firm and see the deliverance of the Lord." The pillar of cloud moved behind them, standing as a shield between Israel and the army. Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, just as God had commanded him. A mighty wind blew all night, and the waters parted into towering walls on either side. The Israelites walked through the sea on dry ground, the water rising high on their left and right. The Egyptian army charged in after them, their chariots racing across the seabed. When Israel was safe on the far shore, Moses stretched out his hand over the sea once more. The walls of water came crashing down, and the great army was swept away. Safe at last, the people of Israel rejoiced, singing and dancing on the distant shore. And so they learned that with faith, God can part any sea and lead us out of bondage.